for that conference. So the theme is either seva, it is devotion, it is about giving up bad habits, different themes can be there. But what is my firm conviction is that all of that is secondary. What is primary is our love for Swami. Because when we look at any of us who have come here, from seniors like Amar Karki sir, Narottam sir, to the kids, to me, to anybody, whoever is here, we did not come to Satya Sai organization to change the world. We did not come to Satya Sai organization to do seva. We came because of our love for Swami. And because Swami loves seva, we started doing seva. Because Swami tells us to do something, we started doing it. So we are all here because Swami called us, because Swami loves us, and because we love Swami. And therefore I feel that the most important fundamental thing for any of the things is to have love for Swami. And therefore, yesterday I spoke on the lessons I learned as a student on doing seva.
Raise it a little bit more also. Yeah.
On doing seva. On doing seva.
Keep saying seva,
Sai Ram. Because I don't want the thing to proceed. Yeah. On doing seva. But I concluded by saying that whether we want to do seva, whether we want to do bhakti, whether whatever we want to do, the most important is to have love for Bhagwan. And so today I thought I will share a few glimpses of my journey of building a relationship with Bhagwan. Because once we build a relationship with Swami, everything automatically comes. It automatically comes. I will also attempt to answer one question, which is, when Swami is physically not there, how do you develop a relationship? Because when Swami is physically there, you go to Prashanti, you can see him, you can try to talk to him, you can get an interview, you can get an interaction, you can give him a letter. That is how I began my relationship with him. But then now that physically Swami is not there, is it not possible to develop a relationship? I do not claim to have the answer, but I will definitely share my experience. So I'll begin by how I got my first intimate experience with Swami. As a child, I was introduced to Swami as God. And for me, Swami was there along with Shiva, Ganesha, Krishna, Rama, Buddha, everybody. Swami was also one more God. I did not know that there are people who will criticize Swami. Because nobody criticizes Ganesha, right? Nobody says, how Ganesha is God? Prove to me Ganesha is God. No, yeah. When you are born, Ganesha is God till I die. That's all. Correct. Ganesha is an accepted God. Shiva is accepted God. Nobody questions. Mother, why are you worshipping Shiva? What is the proof Shiva is God? So like that I had accepted Swami. So I didn't feel the need that prove to me Swami is God. How can Swami be God? Nothing. I had just accepted it. So I wanted to get closer to Swami, and I felt that being a student in Swami's school and college would be the best way to get close to Swami. And finally I got admission in Swami's school. And people often say Swami students are very lucky. So much they get of Swami. This is what I had also heard. But when you go there, reality is different. It's not like every day Swami will come talk to you, pose for selfies with you, no, nothing like that. Sometimes there will be students who will spend years in Swami school without having spoken one word with Swami. I remember when I finished 1 year in school and went to Bombay where my parents were there. Oh, Swami student has come. Huh? Come share your experience. What experience? I don't have any experience. No, 365 days you are with Bhagwan. You must be having many experiences. See, we came only last year, once only we could come. Swami gave one interview, but that's all. And I was thinking, you fellows, you came once and you got one interview. I am sitting there on that Sai Kulwant floor warming it for 365 days. I have not got even one interview. So, this concept of student is lucky, Old devotee is lucky, youth is lucky, all this is in the mind. Because every person who comes to Swami at the correct time, correct place, correct circumstance. There is no need to feel bad that I have come late or I missed the chance, I have come early, nothing. Everybody has come at the correct time. So there is no need for any of us to feel that we have come late, miss ho gaya. Because this has been happening when I came in 1990 when I joined Swami School, 1998. I heard people telling me that, late ho gaya yaar, too late ho gaya. 1980s, 1990 beginning, kitna maja tha. Swami used to do this, Swami used to do that. I felt, 1998, unlucky people. 91, 92, 1980s, lucky people. Then when I spoke to 1980s people, they're saying, we got, but we were unlucky. 1970s, how nice chance it was. So I went to 1970s. 1970s are jealous of 1960s. 1960s are jealous of 1950s. 1950s are jealous of 1940s. And 1940s tell, we were fools, we didn't know Swami was a boy that time. We didn't know he's God. He used to tell, take namaskar, we used to not take. We used to think, who is this fellow? What a mistake. You're also lucky. When you came, you knew he's God. So 1940s again jealous of 1950, 1950s jealous of 60. Everybody is jealous of the other. But nobody came early, nobody came late. Everybody came at the perfect time. Because Lord is the Lord of time. So there is no need to feel bad that we came early or late. Now, going back to, so when I joined in 1998, my mother had told me, see, from today onwards, Swami is your mother. Okay. Swami is your father. Okay. Swami is your friend. Swami is your guru. Swami is your everything. Fine. Swami is like an all-rounder, occupying all relationships in my life. So I came to, when I joined higher secondary school, before that 4 years I had studied in Sri Sathya Sai Vidyapeeth, Sri Shailam, Kerala for 4 years. So I was not new to the hostel life. But till when I joined hostel, as I said, my objective was to get close to Swami. In the hostel language, there is a term called form boy. This term form, all of you follow cricket? Yes. Who won yesterday's match? RCB versus Mumbai Indians. You are in youth conference and you are still following the match. So good. So in cricket, you have this term called form, right? In form. When a batsman is in form, he just can't do anything wrong. Correct? If he sticks the ball also, he will go for sixer. If he hits it in the air, that fellow will drop the catch. He just touch it on the leg side, he will go for 4. They say he is in form. He कुछ गलत कर ही नहीं सकता है. जो भी करता है, सही करता है. The same term has been borrowed by the students as well. So when they say, can we get this light also so that I can see their faces? If whenever the power is there. So in hostel language, when they say a student is in form, that means Swami speaks to the student. We have no reason why. Some students Swami will speak to. Some students, as I said, for 3 years nothing they will speak, Swami will not speak. We don't understand all this. So when a Swami is speaking to a student, he is called form boy. Hey, he is in form. He is in form means he can't do anything wrong. What do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. So suppose in Mandir, you are going for darshan and suddenly you see Swami is already coming out for darshan. So you all run, right? So everybody runs for first line. So all the students run. And when the students are running, there is an elderly person walking with a walking stick. They bump into that man, he almost loses balance and he falls. They run and sit. Swami has seen this. Okay? Now, here is how Swami's reaction will be. If you are a form boy, if you are a normal boy, if you are an out of form boy. If you are an out of form boy, Swami will come and tell, "Gee, don't have brains? Coming running, hitting that old person. If he had fallen and broken his bones, first of all, old people have weak bones. You don't even care. You say you love Swami, what is this? This is rubbish, this is nonsense, and he gets scolded. This is out of form boy. Normal boy, nothing. Whether you exist or don't exist doesn't matter. Now, if you are a form boy, Swami will come and say, "See what good boy. Nowadays, youth run behind wine, behind women, behind alcohol. behind cigarettes, behind movies, behind movie stars. But like this youth running behind God, will you see anywhere? They don't see anything else. They don't know who is in the path, they don't know what's in the path, they just run straight to me. See this kind of love that youth have. But like in cricket, with Swami also form is temporary. You don't know when you will go out of form. But like in cricket, form is temporary, but class is permanent. So Swami wanted all of us to become class boys, but we would try to be form boys. We want to be form boys because we want to get Swami's attention. So I also wanted to be a form boy. But 1 month or 2 months or nothing happened. Nothing happened. Swami didn't even speak to me. So I was desperate. Swami should speak something with me. Swami should interact something with me. So I sat in front of the photograph in my room and I said, Swami, you are my mother, you are my father, you are my everything, Swami. I want you, I have come here for you only. I didn't come here for studies, I didn't come here for others, I come only for you. That night, you know this Likita Japa? They have a book in which the pages are ruled and Om Shri Sai Ram you can write, anything you can write. It's a nice sadhana. So they would give us one sheet of this Likita Japa page, book, one page to each of us students. And every night they would tell, you just write any god that you like. You can write Ganeshaya Namaha, or you can write Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Shri Sai Ram, whatever you want, one page you write. Mostly everybody would write Om Shri Sai Ram. I started to write, I love you Swami, I love you Swami, I love you Swami. You know, I began to write like that. For me, Swami was like my best friend. So I said, Swami, I don't want to do Likita Japa. You know, if somebody is your best friend, you tell the person that you love that person. You don't keep writing his name, right? Suppose Rajesh is your best friend, you won't write Rajesh, right? I'm just saying. So, in the same day, I didn't feel like writing Om Shri Sai Ram, but I wrote, I love you Swami, I love you Swami, I love you Swami. So full my Likita Japa was, I love you Swami. And this was very, very personal. At that time, I did not know that so many people from so many countries in the world write, I love you Swami. I thought this is very personal, no, only mine. But the beautiful thing is, when it comes to me and Swami, it is personal. Swami has the capacity to respond one-on-one to each person who says he loves him. So I wrote it like that. And at the end of the night study hours, somebody is coming and collecting all the sheets. All the Likita Japa sheets. I said, why are you collecting? This is not homework, no? I mean, why are you collecting this? I didn't want to give mine because I have not done Likita Japa there. I have done I love you Swami. So I didn't give my sheet, I just kept it. So this happened once or twice. And that is when I got to know what happens to the Likita Japa sheets. In fact, even today, if you go to Prashanti Nilayam and when you are exiting from the Gopuram gate or any security office, if you go and ask for Vibhuti, they will give you Vibhuti. That Vibhuti will be in a paper packet and that paper is that Om Shri Sai Ram paper. All the sadhana that devotees do know, it is used for packing Swami's prasadam. Not only that, any building that is made in Prashanti Nilayam, when they dig for the foundation, they put these Likita Japa papers. Because they want to say that this building is not standing on foundation, this building is standing on God's name. So these Likita Japa sheets are used in this manner. And when I got to know this, I felt, oh my God, all the students are getting a chance to contribute to some building or to Swami's prasadam or something. Only I am not contributing. Why? Because I am keeping mine in the cupboard. And why I am keeping in the cupboard? Because I love you Swami. It is not Om Shri Sai Ram. I thought, oh God, I'm missing this chance. Everybody is getting offered to Swami, only mine is not getting offered to Swami. Then suddenly I thought, yes, I will offer my sheet to Swami directly. Like people give letters to Swami, instead of letter, I will fold this and give this paper to Swami. I said, yeah, this is my plan. So that day I folded that and took it for darshan. And I said, Swami, don't think I am giving you a piece of paper. मैं अपना दिल दे रहा हूँ आपको. Very, maybe Bollywood film influence or whatever, but a very filmy dialogue. ये कागज का टुकड़ा नहीं है, ये मेरा दिल है. So I was praying, and Yeah, now I'm telling it with a lot of laughter and humor, but I was very serious. I was very, very serious. I said, Swami, you have to take it. You have to accept my heart. Today, if you don't take it, I will take it like you have rejected me. This was my thought. And we went, and when we sat in the mandir, I realized that I'm not sitting anywhere in the first line. I'm sitting from the front, I'm in the fifth line. From the right side, I'm in the eighth line. From the left side, I'm in the sixth line. Basically, I'm in the center of the paragraph. So I am not anywhere where I can give the letter. I'm thinking, Swami, I don't know how, but you have to take this letter. Swami came for darshan. This was in 1998. Swami completed darshan, didn't take my letter, went into the interview. So I was sitting there and I was saying, Swami, I don't know how you'll do it. But you have to take my letter, Swami. Because this is not my letter, this is my heart. Swami, you can't. I'm offering my heart, you have to take, you have to take, you have to take. The interviews got over. The interview room door opened, Swami came walking out. And he came walking to where we were seated, our group. Not our group, I mean all the students were seated there. But still I can't give. I can't stand up and give. I can't do anything. I'm wondering what I'll do. Suddenly Swami turns to two boys there and tells, make a path. You know, Swami would do that. He will come near and then make a path. So immediately those two students who are facing him will start facing each other. And everybody will make life, so it will become like a path. Like how the Red Sea parted for Moses to cross. In the same way, immediately a path will be made so Swami can walk across. And when the path was made, I realized that I am in the first line now. And Swami started coming. Now even as Swami started coming, closer and closer, my ego started to grow higher and higher. I felt, wow, I am like Dhruva and Prahalada. I called and the Lord is coming. And I am looking at all the people around me. You are all lucky people because you are sitting near me. I prayed and Swami is coming. So this was my ego. And when Swami came close, I gave him my heart. And Swami took it and I was so happy. I bent down, I just touched his feet. And as Swami was about to walk, one paper fell down. And I saw, oh my God, I picked it. I thought it might have slipped out from Swami's hand. I tried to give it to him. Swami walked away. So you're laughing. Somebody's heart has collapsed here and you're laughing. You were you. So, Swami walked on and I was, suddenly I realized that, Swami, everything is instantaneous. Many times. You prayed, I came, but you felt egoistic, so take. I realized that, oh God, Swami, I am sorry, Swami, I am sorry. I was stupid to think that I am a great devotee. It is not my devotion, Swami, it's your love. There is nothing great in my devotion. That is the truth. There is nothing great in my devotion. Everything great is in your love, Swami, in your love. It is your love that makes a monkey into Hanuman. That monkey which we hit stones, throw sticks at, we will do aarti for it when it stands next to you. I think, Swami, I am also that monkey, Swami. When as long as I am next to you, I will be worshipped. If I leave you, then I will get stones and sticks. That is all our condition. When we are next to the Lord, we will be worshipped. So I realized my mistake. I was praying, and quickly, one or two tears came in my eyes. I just wiped it off because I really felt sad. I said, Swami, whatever it may be, Swami, I may be egoistic, but still I can love, no? I may be egoistic, but I still love you, Swami. So what? So if there is ego, then you won't accept my love. Whatever it may be the thing, Swami, I may be egoistic, I may be proud, but I offered my heart to you and you threw my heart, Swami. You threw my heart. I was feeling very bad. So I was quickly wiping my tears because they say guys should not cry, only girls can cry. I don't know why, because we also feel equally sad like anybody. So I was quickly wiping my tears. Swami went there, and as I said yesterday, whenever Swami would materialize vibhuti for any devotee, any student who had a handkerchief in his pocket could rush to Swami and offer that handkerchief to wipe his hand. So as I was wiping my tears and putting the letter back into my pocket, I saw Swami was speaking to some devotee and he materialized vibhuti. Nobody was running. I was surprised. I had a handkerchief. I quickly took the handkerchief, rushed to Swami to give it. So how it would happen is, Swami will be facing the devotee and you will put the handkerchief on your hand and offer it to Swami. Swami will take the handkerchief from you. Suppose I am kneeling here. He won't even look at the student. He will just take the handkerchief. As he's wiping his hand also, he will be talking with the devotee. And he just throw the handkerchief back. So you have to catch it. You don't want it to fall on the ground. Something in which Swami's vibhuti is white, you don't want it to fall on the floor. So he'll throw it, you have to catch it, put it back in your pocket. And after Swami walks, you will give a piece of paper to the devotee who received vibhuti, so that he can put that vibhuti in the paper and keep it. And if you are lucky, sometimes Swami will himself ask the paper and pack that vibhuti for the devotee. And Swami will go, you will come back to your place. This is the standard procedure. So I ran there, Swami did not look at me. He took the handkerchief and he was wiping his hand. And I was going on looking at his hand, because when he will throw, I have to catch. So Swami is wiping and I am waiting. When he will throw, where he will throw, if he throws here, I have to dive, catch. It's like being in the slip cordon or the wicket keeper in cricket. You don't know which side the ball will come. So I'm standing there waiting and Swami is wiping. I'm waiting, he's wiping, I'm waiting, he's wiping. But I did not realize that when I'm looking at his hand and waiting there, Swami is actually looking at me. I don't even know that he's looking at me. So when Swami also realized that I'm not going to look at him, he patted me on my shoulder. That is when I looked at him. And when I looked at him, Swami points to my pocket and he says, "Give that to me." And the beautiful thing was, the pocket he pointed to, when I first did this, I realized it's not only the letter, it's also my heart. You know? Oh, okay. So I took and gave that. It's only after he took that, "I love you, Swami," that he gave me back the handkerchief and I went back to my place. Again I was crying. Because Swami must have thought this fellow is a nutcase. He was crying, I made him happy, he's still crying. But that's what God does in our life. He enters our life when we are crying, and when He leaves our life, we are crying. The only difference is the first were tears, hot tears of sorrow, and when He comes and goes, these are cool tears of joy.